Hi, welcome to my first video in my zombie preparation series. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know my intention with these videos and my other series that I may do is that they won't necessarily be consecutive videos. I'll just make a new one when I have some new content to share in that series. In today's video, we're going to talk about being prepared to evacuate in the event of a zombie apocalypse. Now, the great thing about the preparation for the zombie apocalypse is that it applies to all natural disasters and other events. So if you're not likely to experience a zombie attack, you can still prepare for other natural disasters. So what we're going to be talking about today is preparing what is called either a 72-hour kit, a go bag, or a bug out bag. Now, the reason why it's called a 72-hour kit is in the event of a zombie apocalypse or any other natural disaster, you need to assume that it's going to be 72 hours before you get any help from the authorities. So you need to be prepared with everything that you may need to survive for 72 hours. So the first thing that you need for a bug out bag is the bag. What I have here is I've just collected some old backpacks. I came across a really nice one here. This one's a little bit bigger. But what you need is one bag for each person. There are 5 of us who live here right now, so I'll be making 5 bug out bags. And they will each be basically the same, though my youngest daughter may not be strong enough to carry as much as I would be able to carry, so if there are extra things, I'll be putting them in my bag, which is this bigger one, just so that it's comfortable to carry. Padded straps. They shouldn't be more than 20 pounds or so. They'll probably be a lot less. Okay, the most important thing that you need to have in your go bag is food and water. You can't survive very long without water. You can survive a little bit longer without food, but still you need to have food so that you have energy. So what I've got here, as far as water goes, I'm just going to be packing some bottles of water in each bag. I will pack a minimum of 2 per day, so at least 6 bottles of water in each bag. The thing to keep in mind is that water is heavy. So you want to carry as much as you can without getting too heavy. So a thing that you can supplement your water with is a thing like a portable water purifier or a setup to boil water so that you can just create more fresh water for yourself as you need to, if you need it. Now, since we're talking about surviving the zombie attack and not necessarily living in comfort while the zombies attack, what that means is that we may be a little bit uncomfortable, but we want to have at least what we need to survive. And so that's my thought with the water, is have the minimum that we need at least, and then as I get other options, I will add those. So I plan on getting a water purifier and purifying tablets, things like that, so that I can use water that's there. Now, with the idea in mind about survival and not comfort, what I have here is a box of Mountain House meals, and you can see this is a 3-day emergency food supply. So Mountain House is good because these they're the kind of things you just boil some water and put them in, and they store. Look, we're like just going into 2020, and this says best before 2049. So that's like 30 years. These are going to last for like 30 years in the bag. So that's why Mountain House or this kind of thing is good to put in your bag. You never know when the zombie apocalypse will happen. It could happen tomorrow, or it could happen 30 years from now. So if it happens 30 years from now, my food will be spoiled. But if it happens tomorrow or 10 years from now, I'll be okay. In the event of evacuation, you may be able to evacuate to an evacuation center or something like that, but you never know where you're going to need to go. So you need to be prepared to protect yourself from the elements. The most basic things would be some protection from rain. though here where I live it does not rain a lot, so rain is the least of my concerns. But I need to have things available so that I can make a shelter or protect myself in some way. So the first thing that I have here is emergency blanket. You can find those anywhere. These are those Mylar blankets. They keep the heat in. So we'll put that in. You need to have fire. So what I've got here, this, I know it looks like a Zippo, but it's not. This is a metal fire starter. So I've filled it up with white gas, and it uses a flint spark. So what you do is you screw off the match, you screw off the top, and you can see there's a wick there that's been soaked in the white gas, and right in the middle is some flint, and then we've got or maybe steel. I don't know which side is the flint and which side is the steel, but this is a sparker right here, so just strike it, and then you get a match. This is waterproof, and this will just burn until that gas is gone. So then you can light your fires. You just blow it out, and look, it's not even burnt. So we put it back in. So this will last as long as you have fuel in it. So I'll bring these. I will also bring some regular matches and maybe a lighter. You need some rope. So I have paracord. This is 550 paracord that I've wound up nice and neat. If I just pull this end right here, then it will unspool without any knots. So I've got one of these. This is at least 50 feet. This one may be more, 75 feet maybe. But I'm putting at least 50 feet in each go bag. You never know when you need to tie up someone. Whoops. You never know when you need to tie up a zombie or build a base. The next thing we need is a basic first aid kit. So what I've got is these little boxes that we can open up. They close, and I'm just going to build a mini first aid kit in each of these. So I'll show you some things that we're putting in it. First, I have these. I found these online, and they're pretty awesome. These are Q-tips, and if you can see, their bodies are plastic, and they're filled with alcohol. So you just break these open, and then you can use them, and there will be alcohol on the Q-tips. You can use those for cleaning and sanitizing. Put those in the kit. Next, we need some Band-Aids, because everyone knows that if you get bit by a zombie and put a Band-Aid on the bite, you are safe. I got a small pair of tweezers. Pull out splinters or zombie teeth that may be stuck in a wound. Some antibacterial hand wash. That's all I'm going to put in there for right now. There are other things that could be in there. I'll just improve on that as I get more things. A few other things that we're going to be bringing, though, is these are Kleenex packets. You can use them as toilet paper also. Also, I may just throw in a roll of toilet paper, but these are handy, so I'll throw in several of these in each go bag. And also, I've got a miniature little thing of wet wipes. These are for cleaning your hands, because everyone knows during a zombie apocalypse the biggest fear is dirty hands. So here's the first aid kit. This one is one my daughter made for herself. She'll probably live longer than all of us. She's got some antibacterial in there, some wet wipes, Band-Aids. She's got some safety pins. Make sure you get safety pins and not regular pins, because safety first. Okay, I need to get some more of this stuff for each of our kits so we don't get infected. And then it's important to decorate it to make it look right. Who wants to use something that doesn't look nice? So make sure you decorate your first aid kit when you're done. Some other things for shelter. I got a poncho, raincoat. These you can just get at the dollar store. And then I've got this tube tent. It's basically just a big tube of plastic with a rope that you string the rope across between two trees and prop it open. It works great. It's all you need. Okay. Some other random things that you will want to have in your kit. Rubber bands. You don't need a whole bag like this, just a few rubber bands. You never know when you're going to need them or what you're going to need them for. There's a roll of toilet paper. You need some paper. This is too much paper, so I'll probably break these in half at least. But just a pad of paper for writing notes, important information down, leaving letters, writing poetry, writing fan fiction about zombies, whatever you want. So you need some paper. And to go with the paper, you need some pencils. I'm going to bring at least 2. Make sure they are number 2 pencils. You never know if you may be required to take a Scantron test, so you want to be prepared. Even if you don't have to take any Scantrons, you want to have something that you can write with. Pencil's great because you can write on most surfaces with it. Pens are okay, but they will eventually run out of ink. Even though a pencil will eventually run out, you can just keep sharpening it. You don't even need a pencil sharpener, though you may want to bring a pencil sharpener, but you don't have to have a pencil sharpener because you should have a knife. I may do a video just on knives sometime in the future, but this is the kind of knife that I like to use. It's a fixed blade knife, not a folding knife. You don't have to worry about getting any gunk in the locking mechanism or the joint of a folding knife if you have a fixed blade knife. This works great. You can tie it to the end of a stick and make a spear out of it, or you can use this to fight off zombies, defend yourself against bad guys, or cut your spaghetti with it. So it's a good all-purpose knife. You might want to bring a small sharpening stone if you want. 3 days is not very long. You'll probably not need to use this for other than cutting your spaghetti, hopefully. But if that 3 days turns into more days, then this is going to be one of the most important tools that you have. This one has a nice sheath to keep it in. So I'll put it in its sheath and put it in the bag. Another extremely important thing is a flashlight. This is my mag light. Let's put it that way, it's very long. I like mag lights because they're excellent lights and they're heavy, so you can use them as a weapon to fight off zombies if you have to, or zombie dogs or zombie cats or zombie chipmunks that might attack you, so you can fight them off. This one is an old mag light before LEDs came out, but I recently upgraded it to make it an LED light, and I'll have a video on how I did that. But this is nice, good mag light. But this is it's heavy, and you may not want this in your go bag. A more realistic one, this is one that I will keep in my house, keep it ready in case the zombies ever break into the house. But here's a small version of the mag light. It's less effective as a club, but it's a good light. It's waterproof. This one also has been upgraded to be LED, and normally this kind you have to turn this little thing to turn it on or off. And that's dumb, so I put a clicker on the back. That will be in my other flashlight video also, so you can see how I did that. But this is a good one to put in your go bag. But even if you don't want to spend the money on this or much more expensive flashlights, you can just get these cheap ones at like the dollar store or anything. Now I used to hate these because you get them, sometimes you even get them free from like Harbor Freight. You get them and then they maybe work for a day or an hour and then they stop working. But I looked up on the internet and there are nice ways that you can restore them so that they work great. So that's what I've done with this. Works great. Remember with flashlights that you need to have spare batteries also. So I'm just going to put a little one like this in the go bag. In case you need to survive for more than 3 days, I'm also including in these bags various survival guides. These are just ones that I've collected over time. I don't know which one is the best to use.
This one shows all kinds of things, how to make traps, how volcanoes work, in case you want to know that. Lots of information, so that one I'll throw into one of the bags. I've got another one here. This is the U.S. Army Survival Manual. This one is has a lot more survival information, how to build shelters, how to identify trees. This one is probably a really good survival manual. This one, the Worst Case Scenario Almanac for the Great Outdoors. This is actually like a survival guide. It tells a few pieces of information, how to build shelters and fire and stuff like that. There's a lot of not helpful information probably as well. Like if you're in the United States, you don't really need to know how to survive in Australia, and there's a section on surviving in Australia. Anyway, but there is some useful information. If nothing else, it'll be entertaining to read. Now, of course, for the zombie apocalypse, this one is perfect. The Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. If you look at the beginning, there is rules about, or explanation about zombies and what they are, where they came from, how to kill zombies, where the safe places are. But then there's some information, how to ride a horse, how to make a hot air balloon, and you know, how to use different weapons, all things that you'll need to know when dealing with the zombie apocalypse. This will be useful for if you're surviving a zombie apocalypse, but if it's any other natural disaster, it won't be quite as helpful. Along those same veins, there's this book, How to Speak Zombie. You know, if you can communicate with them, then maybe you can survive longer. That's right. All right, so that is my first go bag video. I don't have everything that I need yet. As I get more things for my go bags or make improvements, I will post updates. If you have any questions about anything or suggestions of things that I should put in my go bags, leave a comment below so that I know about that, because I'm making this stuff up as I go. I've never fought off zombies, so if you've ever survived a zombie attack, please pass your information on. I hope you feel more prepared to fight the zombies. I certainly do. And if you want to find out more about these videos, or if you want to see other videos for things that I make, then make sure to hit subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you know when my videos come up. And in the meantime, don't be bored, be creative. I'll see you next time, guys.